Hello students, welcome to the class. Today we are going to learn about what are the modes of entry in international business. We have already studied about that what is international business, what is important, what its scope and everything we have gone through. Now we'll study that if a particular individual or if a particular organization wants to enter into international business, how do they go about it? So let's get started. Firstly, why international business? हम क्यों कोई भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन क्यों चाहती है दैट दे गो टू इंटरनेशनल मार्केट्स, दैट दे गो टू बिजनेस दैट आर प्रिवेलिंग इन different countries. So the main reason why industries and individuals go for international business is firstly for attracting the foreign demand. For example, there's a product in India which we specialize for, say, jute. We are specializing in jute and jute is not available everywhere in the world. So we want to, attract the foreign demands, attract the demands of people living in different countries for jute. So that's why an organization or an individual goes for international business. Next is capitalize on technology. We want to go for international business because we need to access the different factors of production or different technologies that we can be using for our business purposes. That can be importing and exporting of factors of production as well as the technology. लाइक हम क्या करते हैं, जापान से कोई टेक्नोलॉजी जो है इंपोर्ट करते हैं, कोई मशीनरी है दैट वी इंपोर्ट फ्रॉम सम अदर कंट्री, देन व्हाट वी डिड, वी कैपिटलाइज्ड ऑन टेक्नोलॉजी. So that's why some people or some industries go for international business. Other is use of inexpensive resources. Like I told you that we are rich in jute, we are rich in coffee, we are rich in teas. So these are our specialization and they are inexpensive. In India, they are present in abundance, and overall world they are not in abundance, they have the shortage of it, but the demand is also there, right? So industries and individuals go for international business because in their respective countries or in their respective regions there is some resources that are not available to the other countries, so they want to utilize it and they want to make profit out of these resources, right? And the next reason is diversify internationally. If the aim of a particular organization or an individual is that they should be operating in different parts of the country, that's why they go for international business. For example, Reliance Industries. India mein they have the headquarter, they have everything, every operations running, but they have their businesses overall the world. Like the Coca-Cola company. Coca-Cola company has its business over 200 plus countries which are in the world. So if we want to diversify, if we want to, expand our business, the individuals and organizations go for international business. So for these reasons, people go out to reach for international markets, but how do they go about it? What are the entry modes? What are the ways they have to follow to enter into the other countries' market? So let's study about that. So there are majorly 5 modes of entry that the organization and individuals use to enter into the other countries' market. So briefly we'll study about all these methods and what are the advantages and limitations of using these methods for entering into the foreign markets. So first method is exporting and importing. It is the most popular method as well as it is the most used method throughout the world by every country to enter or access the foreign markets. What do we mean by exporting? By exporting, we mean that we send our good, we transfer our goods from our country to the other country. And importing means that buying goods or services from other countries. What we can import and export? We can export goods, services, technologies, factors of production, intellectual properties, all these things we can transfer, and this is the easiest mode of entering into any other markets. So there are basically two ways in which we can do imports and export. One is the direct method. The direct importing or direct exporting means that the firms deal with their respective customers or the respective buyers or sellers directly without the existence of any intermediary body. अगर मैं एज अ एक्सपोर्टर अपने इंपोर्टर से डायरेक्टली कॉन्टैक्ट कर रही हूँ, ऑल द टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस हैव बीन डन डायरेक्टली विदाउट इंटरफेरेंस ऑफ एनी एजेंट और विदाउट इंटरफेरेंस ऑफ एनी अदर बॉडी, दैट विल बी नोन एज डायरेक्ट इंपोर्टिंग और डायरेक्ट एक्सपोर्टिंग. ऑलराइट. The other one is indirect exporting and importing. Indirect exporting importing means that there are some middlemen, there are some maybe export houses, there are maybe representative of the importer or exporter, there may be some agents, there may be some overseas officers which are acting as the middleman for facilitating the transfer of goods and services or whatever thing we are trying to import and export. So these were the basic two methods in which we can import and export our goods and services, right? What are the basic advantages of the direct importing or maybe importing and exporting? Firstly, the advantage is it's the easiest mode and the most popular mode, right? So overall world, it's the most popular mode, it's the most easiest mode that can be So let's talk about what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages of importing and exporting, right? So importing and exporting is the most popular, most well known and the easiest mode of doing or transferring the movement of the goods and services that we have or that we want to have with us, right? It's the most popular, and overall world, most of the population or the people or organizations that are doing it. सर ये सर को दे आइए, मेरी रिकॉर्डिंग चल रही है, बार बार बज रहा है ये, पता नहीं सर का फोन है शायद. So now let's talk about what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages of exporting and importing. First, we'll talk about that what are the good things. We always start with good things, right? So what are the advantages of importing and exporting to other countries? So firstly, it is the most easiest and most popular method of transferring and of the movement of goods from one country to another country, right? It is most popular and most widely used as well. In overall world, there is if we talk about the different methods of transferring or movement of these goods and services, it holds the largest percentage. So it is very easy mode. There is, you can directly contact or you can have one intermediary who can facilitate these services for you, and you can easily just bring up your consignment, manufacture it or whatsoever is done, and then ship it to the other country. It is as simple as that. Next is less investment. Less investment because इसमें if I as an exporter want to export something to some other country, I'll charge the payment for it. Okay. तो क्या होगा, वो प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी भी मुझे दे रहा है और जो मुझे अपना खुद का इन्वेस्टमेंट है वो बहुत ही कम लगाना पड़ता है। और अभी जितने भी मेथड्स वी आर गोना स्टडी फर्दर, उसमें द लीस्ट एक्सपेंसिव मेथड इज द इंपोर्टिंग एंड एक्सपोर्टिंग। ठीक है, कुछ अपना इन्वेस्टमेंट छोड़ के ऑल द पेमेंट इज बिन डन, नो अदर सेटिंग अप ऑफ एनी काइंड ऑफ किसी अलग फैक्ट्री की जरूरत नहीं है, कोई अलग असेंबली लाइन की जरूरत नहीं है, कोई अलग मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट की जरूरत नहीं है। द वट एवर थिंग्स दैट वी आर हैविंग विद अस, वी जस्ट यूटिलाइज ऑल दैट थिंग्स एंड वॉट वी डू इज विद वेरी लेस इन्वेस्टमेंट वी कैन हैव access to other markets or the other countries market, right? Now it is very less risky as there is no investment involved. मैं एज अ एक्सपोर्टर मेरा कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट जो है ज़्यादा इसमें इन्वॉल्व नहीं है। इट्स जस्ट दैट जैसे हम डोमेस्टिकली करते हैं कि एक स्टेट से दूसरे स्टेट हम कोई कंसाइनमेंट पहुंचाते हैं, इट्स जस्ट द क्रॉस बॉर्डर, राइट? तो जो भी हमारा इंश्योरेंस एंड शिपमेंट और इन सब के इन्वेस्टमेंट को और इन सब के रिस्क को अगर हटा दिया जाए तो इट इज कंपेयर्ड टू ऑल अदर मेथड्स दैट वी आर गोना स्टडी फर्दर, उससे सबसे कम रिस्कियर मेथड इज द इंपोर्टिंग एंड एक्सपोर्टिंग मेथड्स, राइट? Now what are the limitations of these methods? First is the high cost. अभी आप बोलेंगे कि मैम अभी तो आपने बोला दैट इट इज द लीस्ट एक्सपेंसिव, हमारा इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं लगता, बट हियर इन हाई कॉस्ट मैं इस कंटेक्स्ट में बात कर रही हूँ दैट बिकॉज इसको हमें थ्रू शिपमेंट दूसरी कंट्रीज में पहुंचाना होता है एंड देर आर सम थिंग्स दैट आर बॉटल दैट हैव ग्लास थिंग्स इन इट। सो व्हाट इज द मेन रीजन फॉर हाई कॉस्ट इज कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर आज मैं लखनऊ में रह के कोई चीज मैन्युफैक्चर कर रही हूं तो मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा, पहले उसे आईसीडी तक लेकर जाना पड़ेगा। व्हाट इज आईसीडी? इनलैंड कंटेनर डिपो। मुझे वहां लेके जाना पड़ेगा, सारे डॉक्यूमेंटेशंस अपने करने पड़ेंगे, देन फ्रॉम आईसीडी इट विल गो टू सम पोर्ट। फॉर एग्जाम्पल जो भी मुंबई पोर्ट अगर नियरर है वो मुंबई पोर्ट पे जाएगा, तो यही मेरा जो टैरिफ्स का खर्चा, जो टोल्स का खर्चा होगा और जो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन का खर्चा होगा, जो फर्दर बीच में डॉक्यूमेंटेशन का है, दैट कॉस्ट विल बी वेरी हाई। और जो भी मैं शिपमेंट करा रही हूँ उसमें द इंश्योरेंस दैट इज बिन इंक्लूडेड, the containers in which the consignment is going, that cost me a lot. So मेरा वैसे investment for manufacturing and for production is not that much, but transporting itself from one place to another has been including a very high cost within itself, right? So other is the import restrictions. So in every country there are some restrictions on bringing into some of the products or many of the products from the other countries. क्या होता है कि जब हम किसी भी दूसरी कंट्री से कोई भी प्रोडक्ट्स या सर्विसेज अपने कंट्री में लेके आते हैं फॉर कटिंग द कंपटीशन, ताकि अगर हम बाहर से कोई भी चीपर गुड्स लेकर आएंगे तो हमारी खुद की मार्केट में कंपटीशन इंक्रीज होगा। सो फॉर डिक्रीजिंग दैट कंपटीशन व्हाट वी डू इज वी import duties, import tariffs उन पे हम जो है लगाते हैं, so that the products in turn becomes expensive and that gives or cuts the competition within the domestic markets, right? So that's why import restrictions are so much that जितना मेरा consignment नहीं होता उससे almost half or more than half जो है I have to pay the duty to get through the different markets or through different countries, right? Lack of direct contact. That means the exporter and importer do not meet in person. They are just, contacting via phone calls or through, Skype calls or other video calling things. So there is lack of direct contact, which in turn, have a bit of a risk involved that maybe the thing can be of fraudulent nature, right? So these were the advantages and limitations of the importing and exporting method of entry into the international business, right?